Now we will start to use the macros that we just imported into our project. And the first one is the macros call. The name of the macro is call. Why call? Because it will replace everything related with calls in our palette. In this case, for example, the balances transfer, we want to automatically generate this enum here based on the functions that we'll expose in our implementation. So basically, we will automatically create the enum and automatically implement everything related with the dispatch and everything else. So the parsing, so let's take a look at our macro definition just for the sake of learning. This is pretty advanced code, but we kept our macros as simple as possible for this example. And we have the call def and we have the call variant def. What is this? So the call def are the structure that we have, basically which palette this macro is being used. It must identify it's being used in the balances palette, and what are the functions that are being exposed into this, in this case, the transfer function. And then we have the arguments, or what are the information about this function that we need to expose to outside. So for example, the color, the to, the amount. And there are some restrictions, for example, when you parse the code, some restrictions like, for example, you must have a color as a first argument. For example, the transfer has a color, and the color is the first argument of the function. If you don't have this, it's gonna break. Because the macro, if you look at here, it's parsing the code and check if the first argument is a color, and so on. So basically, you check what is the first argument. The first argument is self, like it is here. And then the second argument is a color, and so on. So basically, this code is like checking if everything that we have and we are using in the macro are actually right for the macro that we want to use. Okay, so the way we are going to do is that we need to split the implementation. Right now, all our implementations in the palette are within the same code block, but we need to extract this part of the code. So let me duplicate this part here and create another version of it, empty for now. And this one we use the macro as described here. So we are going to put this code here and put it here. Okay. And now it already says something. Oh, there's something missing, of course, because we need to add some code inside here. Because the transfer is not covered. It already identified that we have some enum, and this enum is not being implemented there. So let's take this transfer from here, and basically we move it to this one, and right now is still conflicting because of course the macro will automatically create the enum, so we don't need it anymore. So let's remove this enum from here, and the transfer dispatch, we don't need the dispatch as well, so let's remove the dispatch. Everything here needs to be removed, so remove the dispatch and everything is fine, except that if you take a look at the main, now the main is breaking. Why the main is breaking? Because remember, the name of the function is transfer. And for the sake of simplicity, as described here, we are not we are not changing the name of the function, because our enum before was transfer with the capital letter T, but the name of our function is transfer, and we are creating the enum in this way. The automatically created enum is lowercase, so we need to change our code to use this new version over here. So let's just change this to transfer and this one to transfer. And if I didn't do anything wrong and run, you see that my code is working. And this looks like magic, but it's not magic. It's just that we are generating some code, and we can actually see the code. If you run cargo expand, you're gonna see all the code that is generated by the macro. Like, for example, if you take a look at the, let's say, our proof of existence. So there is this, the calls are here. You see, this is automatically generated. Oh, not here. Wait. In the balances palette, balances. Oh, here. The transfer is created. You see, the actual code is exactly the same as it was before, but now this one is generated by our macro. And the same goes for the dispatch. And this dispatch is just matching and routing to the methods. So everything is being generated the same way it was before, but instead of having a lot of code, a lot of duplication, we are just like using the macro. So very simple steps. So we separated the functions that we want to expose into a new block. We just added the macros call, and then we removed all the enum that we generated, that we had written, and also the dispatch is not here anymore because the macro is generating the dispatch for us. And if we run cargo test, let's make sure, no, everything is working. Let me see. No, yeah, it's working because in our test here, we don't use the names. We are calling the pallet itself, and our main is the only one who uses the call names, and that's why we just need to update it here. So let's do it again. In the next lesson, we are going to do exactly the same steps, but for our proof of existence palette.